Good day. Happy Monday. It's Making Moguls Monday. It's your guy, Servigiano Alexander, a.k.a. King Cosmic. And if you can't find me, you ain't looking hard enough. Welcome to Making Moguls. Here, you either win with us or you watch us win. And I have one of my guys here, and we're in for a really fun conversation surrounding music, cannabis, and the art of making a brand. And so we're going to get into a great conversation with my guy, gold.kief, in the building.
Yo.
But thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for being here. It is a beautiful Monday. It's kind of warm. And so it's nice.
It was pretty nice outside, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, summer's about to be here, you know?
Yeah.
So every time we start this show, we like to start with small wins. But we haven't been on air in the last 2 weeks. We had to take some time off to, handle some things. And I think you could either say small wins or big wins that's happened to you in the last, month or so. Because we like to celebrate the small wins that get you somewhere. But sometimes when you take a little time, you want to recognize the things that you're doing. So I'll let you start.
So first and foremost, right, getting married, that's a big win.
Congratulations.
Right?
Congratulations. That is a big win. That is a big win.
And then also having our new place out in Seattle.
Yes, you're relocating to the West Coast.
Off the water and stuff.
Nice, off the water.
Got like a dock and shit.
Got a dock. That's fucking lit. That
shit goes hard, though. And then
elevating your scenery, your situation. That's nice.
That's and then also just diving more into this new AI craze, right? So I've been kind of like an advocate for that, teaching AI language to AI and stuff like that, and teaching people about your Web3 spaces that's about to take over now, right? And blockchain and how that works with, certain financial and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I've been doing for the most part lately. I'm actually on the Cannabis panel too, and I've been arguing with these guys about actually how you should market it and stop trying to tax us, because what's really going to happen if what's going to make me not go to my guy?
Yeah, exactly.
And go to Ingo buy yours, right? Stuff like that. So I constantly in these rooms and speaking to people, with logic and stuff, and they, they're like, yeah, but you need this. So that's just kind of what I've been doing, bro. And I think, I just released a playlist actually. That's crazy, right? I don't even care so much about that shit, right? So, but I think I sent it to you too.
I think it's a little listen.
I dropped that playlist. It's a playlist. I'm gonna keep adding things to it, right? I kind of feel like albums are kind of dead. But that's just my logic.
A nice little curation.
Yeah, curation is a little bit better. Also, personal curation is better, right? Because that means that if you do have a following or you're building a following, I feel like albums are too limiting to a certain sound. With a playlist, you can just add your sound as it evolves, right? So I think that's a cool dynamic that I'm just creating for myself. It's not something that people don't do, right? But it's just something that I'm just doing for myself. Particularly, I've gone back to SoundCloud and stuff. The whole streaming thing is a bunch of bullshit, but
you gotta deal with it as an artist.
You gotta deal with it as an artist and stuff, right?
That's what's up. You've been tackling a lot of good things.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I got a lot of different shit.
For me, my small big win is for the last 3 years, I've been honing in on the Nevada Cannabis Awards music festival. And this last couple weeks, I can't remember when exactly it happened, because, hustling and making things happen. I became the director of travel and tourism for the Nevada Cannabis Awards. The Cannabis Awards Music Festival team, which handles Nevada Cannabis Awards, Oklahoma Cannabis Awards, Orange County, California, and Arizona.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So we're in all of those areas, and I handle all of the travel bookings for all attendees coming there. So that's been a nice marriage of my cannabis space and my travel space for a while.
That goes hard.
And so I look forward to being able to, you know, like I really, as we're gonna get into this conversation, like for me, the opportunity that exists in the cannabis space,
tenfold.
Yes, it's an unlimited one right now. If you know how to maneuver in an industry, and a lot of people are just focused in on the simple sale of cannabis, which is cool, which is necessary.
Yeah.
But there's an entire industry being built here.
Yeah.
And, you know, being able to maneuver around it and, you know, have conversations with people in positions of power to influence things when the ink isn't dry yet.
Yeah.
It's a nice feeling.
Absolutely.
It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like here, like, you know, it's the new scene, right?
Yeah.
So it's not really a new scene. We've always had it underground, but now that it's legalized and not criminalizing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's, you know, it is what it is. But again, you know, I don't know if that's like a kick it into the cannabis conversation.
Yeah, we can get into that.
Right? So like, you know, so one of the things about me, right, and this is just for the advocacy of it, right? Like, I'm not really advocating for the act of smoking or like smokers, right? But it's more so about like doing it efficiently, right? You look at states like, you know, California and like Oregon and like Colorado and stuff, and how they've been able to like, you know, pretty much like create the industry, right? For so long, right? The way New York is going about it is completely wrong. They, you know, they're forcing their IPs, like their intellectual properties and stuff, their own like friends and companies. You know what I'm saying? So like, they've already like the first licenses that went out were for people, you know, that
it's supposed to be the QR card program.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Use.
And they didn't, you know, those guys really don't really know what they're doing. They just have licenses to create dispensaries. So you kind of just gave that to be like, oh yeah, we're giving to the people, sorry, or whatever. It's nonsense. What are you guys actually doing that's gonna make me as a customer not go to my op?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why am I gonna go, oh no, or you're gonna make it still illegal if you don't buy from you? That's crazy to me too. You just want the tax. That's all.
Well, I mean, that's why they legalize it. It's the same way as alcohol. They legalize it in ways that they could tax it and then make state revenue off of it. I mean, that's the United States government. So we kind of expected that part. For me, it was more about how, as you kind of pointed out, how nepotism kind of runs. I mean, but this is the Empire State. That's how empires are built, is through favors and hands behind deals and doors. And so I really had hoped we as a community in the cannabis space knew better and expected it, because again, this is not Oklahoma, this is not
like Mississippi,
Minnesota or something. This is big business with billions of dollars that's gonna knock on the door to take everything that they can. So to be able to hold our legislators accountable, I thought would have happened a little bit better. But obviously, you know, a lot of people, again, are focused on the wrong space. Yeah. But to tap into that, how did you get into the cannabis space?
Oddly enough, right, I didn't start smoking weed, honestly, until I was 17.
Okay.
Right? So I used to always look at it like, not that it was bad or whatever, I just never felt the need to do it, right? Then one day I was like, you know, let me just try it, whatever, right? And so after that, I just been basically like, you know, a connoisseur of strains, right? So as I got, you know, further into like learning about like different flavors, different hybrids, taste, you know, stuff like that, I started wanting to, you know, grow my own stuff, right? So I've had a lot of failures and like triumphs in that. For example, the first time me and a friend of mine actually tried to grow some weed, it rained and it damaged it because we decided to leave it out an extra day, right? And then it rained and we was like, oh, right? And I think it was like Durban poison or something that we was growing.
Oh wow.
But me and my wife actually have some plans for like our own actual strain, like some couple strains and stuff like that. Once we go out there to Washington, you and I also we have like some concepts too. But as far as getting into cannabis, I like how it makes you feel. Like it's not so much like the high, right? It's not the high for me. It's more so like the community, like you know, doing something. Like, 'cause I can smoke by myself, bro, but it's just weird. Like I be feeling like I just like to pass it, you know. I just
Likewise. I like how it connects you. And
and it evokes like conversation sometimes, you know, or you know, it evokes humor, laughter, and stuff. Right? I think I'm actually glad that a lot of people are getting more into marijuana use, right? They're not so fearful, thinking like it's, you know, the whole gateway drug thing and everything, right?
The conversation is changing and the stigma is changing.
Like, you know, for a good too. Like I'm actually glad for that, right? But you know, one of my favorite strains of all time is literally Granddaddy Purp. Literally my favorite. But I've been smoking some shit called Jealousy.
Oh, actually, I had a hybrid. This company from California released a special strain hybrid with Jealousy and Pound Cake.
Oh, that's crazy.
Jealousy Pound Cake.
That's crazy.
At, the pool party last year. So yeah, I actually know the Jealousy strain quite well.
Jealousy's pretty good. I know my wife likes that shit a lot.
Yeah.
She's actually a very picky smoker. Like she'll smoke anything, but she prefers stuff that like will put her to sleep.
More indicas. More
Which I fucks with that. I kind of been on that same wave. You know, as I got older, like more indica, so I can like wind down and stuff. But for the most part, I do hybrids if I'm playing like, you know, like the Xbox or something, right? Like, because, you know, I am a gamer, so, you know, I hit a spliff and I just like focus in and shit, so.
Okay. And to pivot real quick, because you entered the cannabis space, but you've been doing music for quite a while.
Yeah. Which goes hand in hand. Yeah, and that's how we met too. So the cool thing about the music, right? I actually have different lanes because of different artist names that I have. So I have different catalogs based off of those names. I always thought like, okay, there's always different lanes of revenue that you can gain as an artist. You don't have to just focus on one thing. A lot of that comes from like reading comic books and stuff, and like seeing how people, like characters, reinvent themselves, and even watching like wrestling, how those characters reinvent themselves, right? So I was like, why can't you do that in music? It's still performance art. It's still a form of art, right? So I've done that, and you know, all of that culminated into the gold.kief brand, right? That it is now, which, you know, I'm very like fortunate to have like a large cult following. You know, I'm not like super big or whatever, and I like that. But the people that do know me and like follow my stuff, like I really appreciate that. You know, like that's a big deal considering like a lot of people really be like caring about stuff like that. You know, like they really be going like hard for that, especially in this day and age. Everything is algorithm. It's no longer like connection, talent. It's just algorithm. How could I pay for a better algorithm also? Right. This is also something I want to address about branding. Right. So like our first stint with AI were bots. Right. A lot of people don't realize that. I remember back in the day, people would be like, "Oh, you're buying bots, right?" Here's the thing about that, right? Every major corporation pays for bots.
Oh yeah.
Like that is literally how they get their algorithm to work, right? If you don't have the money to do things like that, you're already behind the 8 ball, right? And a lot of people feel like, oh, it's an ego thing. Oh, no, fam. Like, they do that to snowball the effect of actually getting real people.
Yeah.
You have to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not a bad thing. It's called investing in yourself. Okay, and that's a form of investing in yourself, right? And that's just for like artists that are like, you know, coming up and stuff like that and dealing with people. But nowadays, people don't care. They'll spend like $1,000 on a scam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, and like, you know, the gold.kief brand, I think it's literally it's cool because a lot of people know me as like Jack Brainchild, Jocko Hotwan, Omni, like it's a lot of shit, right? I also produce and engineer. I've had a few people teach me engineering, and then I created my own sound and style, which I also am very like happy about. Over the years, I was able to like polish it. You know,
So do you engineer for yourself, or do you like usually like executive produce when you go to the studio?
So it depends. If I'm working with another producer, engineer, right, I kind of executive produce, but for the most part, I give them the free creative reign. Because, you know, I know how I like stuff, but the whole point of going to someone else is for their input and for their talent, right? So I do my best to just honor that, right? But if I'm just, for the most part, making my own music, I do everything. I engineer it, I produce it, I rap, sing, whatever it is, you know what I mean? I arrange it certain ways. I actually, like, one of the things that I like about creating music is actually manipulating the frequency. Like, I have certain frequencies in my sound that are very different. You know, it's not for everybody. This is why, you know, I tell people, a lot of people don't understand this too. Like, my music brand has always been secondary to everything, right? It's something that I do as my own self-expression, right? Because for years, I just didn't really care to I didn't really care to communicate certain things with the outside world because I always had a big family. So, like, you know, I can speak with my family on a personal level, but I also feel like, you know, if you want to know me, listen to my music or look at my artwork or whatever it is, right? And then nowadays with the whole AI stuff, AI voice and like AI producers, AI engineering, it's a whole nother level now.
Yeah.
Right? So I can literally speak to an AI to literally do and mix and engineer like anybody, really. I also, this is segueing into like the artwork, right?
Yeah.
Part of things, right? Before this whole AI generated art stuff was a craze, I was learning how to create AI art through digital painting and stuff.
Yeah.
In the Art Institute. This was like 2012, I believe.
Okay.
Right? And to even go further back to that, right? I was like one of the first people on the internet, like like when YouTube and shit started. So like companies like SoundCloud, Bandcamp. I don't know if y'all remember Tumblr.
Yeah, I remember Tumblr.
What is it? There's like a few others that's probably not around anymore, but they gave me a platform for free. You know, you could like submit or whatever, right? I didn't really do the YouTube because I wasn't really on the camera type person yet, right? I was still finding my identity and shit. So, at least as a public figure, I was finding my identity. So, you know, I've always grown with the internet, right? So like I literally know how it like functions, like on Discord, right, which is now the new kind of like
that's
it's a big space for gaming for everything.
Yeah.
Right. I have 800,000 members through 100 servers.
Okay.
And
100 servers, sheesh.
yeah, I have 100 servers, and I have.
God damn, I'm in like 27 and I hate it. How do you do 100 servers?
So I own them.
You own all 100?
Yeah, and what
That's even crazy. I could not. I manage one and be a
Nah,
headache.
it's a lot, but I program like the bots and stuff to kind of run it for me.
Okay.
Make sure there's no pedophiles and stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
so I don't ever have to really look at them. But yeah, I recycle members. So like, I create servers per the main server, and people just click. Like people like mindlessly just click. They're like NPCs to a certain degree, and I kind of hate to say that, but there's a lot of NPCs in this world. You know what I'm saying? And so Discord is also like kind of like, it's fun. It's funny to see like the people's interactions. This is bugged out.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And so would you say that you like the sense of community building more, or do you say you like the sense of being like the artist and the public figure?
I kind of think it goes hand in hand. You know what I mean? Because if you want to community build or world build, you have to be a face at some point. You can't be afraid of people seeing you. But I wouldn't mind literally just world building and community building and not ever really being seen. That's also like a comfort, right? I feel like most people that are in industry want that sort of comfort, right? You don't see me, but I'm there, right? So that's another thing that I've tried my best to like cultivate for myself, like not going to everything, not going to every podcast, not doing interviews. This is actually probably my first interview in quite a while.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Wow.
I had a few people ask me for a while. I was actually supposed to go to Buffalo, but it's just not within, it's not within in my plan.
Yeah.
That'll happen when it happens, but, and I think it goes hand in hand, bro. I prefer community building because you teach people things. But I'm an artist at heart, so I'm always going to be an artist.
I feel you on that. Okay, that's dope. And so you also, in addition to your music, you do a lot of visual art, NFTs, and combining art and tech. And so let's speak upon that. Like, what got you into that space?
So, ironically enough, and you know him, Mikhail, MKHL. He
shout out to MKHL, man.
That's my guy right there. So he was like, yo, Jack, right? And everybody calls me Jack, by the way. Aside from Keith. But he's like, yo, Jack, like, are you not doing NFTs? And I was like, well, because I don't really actually know what the fuck they are. Like, I just don't. Like, he's like, yeah, but your art's crazy. I'm like, I bet. So, when it was on the start, like the startup or whatever, when it was starting, I got lucky and I actually sold some NFTs.
Okay.
Right? I didn't really, it was like that easy. Like, I posted it and people just bought it. And I was like, oh shit.
On which network did you use? The OpenSea network?
Yeah, it was on OpenSea. And it was only like, 4 that I had for like, and I had it on my Instagram for like mad long too. And then I started getting more into it. Like, okay, why do people buy these things, right? And one of the things that I've learned is that there's a lot of misinformation on like NFTs, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and stuff, right? In some communities, cryptocurrency and all that shit is fraud. You know what I mean? And to a certain degree, it is a lot of money fraud going on because it's not real money, but neither is credit.
Yeah.
Right? And what they're doing right now with moving the treasury to blockchain, they're going to, they're looking to like make credit obsolete like they did like money in banks. And because crypto is easy to like make. You can make crypto more than you can mint $1.
Yeah.
So, and they see that, which is why they're going after like Coinbase and stuff, the SEC, but they're going to lose. Like they lost against Ripple and stuff like that because it's not actually stealing. It's people putting their own money into a different currency bank and controlling it their own way because they only have access to the wallet, and that's the issue. The issue is not the money aspect. The issue is that the government can't actually infiltrate it because it's token gated.
Yeah.
For example, you have your own password. Not even the people like MetaMask and stuff, they can't even actually access your password. You have to have it.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, then it's clipped for you.
Yeah,
or you have to start
that's how
over.
people lost people lost billions and millions of dollars in Bitcoin because they just had it in a wallet and never
saved anything, right?
Anything. And the passkeys don't be real simple.
It'd be like 24 words and stuff. So like, and that's not nobody's fault but your own. Yeah. And now you want to say, oh, it's fraud, it's fake. No, you just didn't actually read it. You didn't do your research, right? Reading is literally a fundamental thing, and a lot of people lack it. So, lack comprehending what they're reading, right? But yeah, so NFTs and stuff like I actually am a part of a NFT platform that's going to drop soon. It's called Satudu. You can actually follow that on IG. I believe it's like literally Satudu, SUTUDU. And they run on Matic. But the owner, he is a really cool guy by the name of Quale, ironically enough.
Okay.
He's out in, I think, Jersey or whatever. But yeah, he's giving a platform for dummies, basically, right? So not only can you sell with Matic and stuff like that, but you can also actually pay with actual money. But what he's working to do, what we're working to do, honestly, is to wean people more into wallets and educating them on that, while they're just paying with regular money. But what we do is we literally break it down for you, or you can just pay us to just upkeep for you. A lot of places don't upkeep, clients' wallets. They don't. But what that does essentially gives people access to your wallet, right? So
let's take it back for those that don't, like, that never interacted with Web3 or like anything like that. So most people, at least by now, hopefully understand that the blockchain is a decentralized system of a ledger, basically.
Yeah, and decentralization is just a mindset. It's not actually a thing. It's not tangible.
Okay.
You cannot decentralize anything. You need some sort of center structure. The reason why they say decentralizing is meaning like giving back your intellectual property to the user, which is why token gating and blockchain is necessary. And that's why the United States government is kind of like afraid of that, because they don't, everything here is taxing, right? So they can't actually tax that. They can't do that. So, so they're just kind of like, how could they get involved the way they always get involved? So now they're like, suing and shit like that. But decentralization is a concept. It's not a real thing.
Okay.
Right.
With that concept, how would you explain like crypto wallets to people?
So crypto wallets is basically you owning your own bank. It's not necessarily a wallet per se, right? It's a storage folder, right? It's like, I have this artwork, I have this money in this fail-safe
like a digital
folder.
Safety deposit box.
Is literally a digital lockbox or like deposit box for you that you can trade with seamlessly, right? And people should like not be afraid of that. You know what I mean? This actually takes away bank fees and APYs and all these like bank debts and stuff like that, because you're in control of your money.
Okay. And I've heard something on the other side of it. They're asking because while you don't have to pay taxes and fees, there's gas fees.
There's gas fees. There is.
And so for those that don't understand, what would be the difference between paying taxes on something versus paying gas fees?
There's nothing really that different. I mean, gas is a little bit more though, right? You got to think gas is equivalent to like actually driving a car. That's actual real fuels we're burning, right? So like, the mining aspect of crypto is definitely not a good thing, right? But that's why you have things like Ethereum and like Cardano and stuff that are working off gas. Like we're not using gas. There's a Matic. One of the reasons why with Satuda we don't actually use gas. I can't really disclose what we're using, right? But we don't use gas to create our coins, which is actually a big deal, right? And that's why they're kind of like trying to like block us from like launching, but it's not going to happen.
Okay.
But yeah, so because gas fees is actually an issue. Mm-hmm. That's basically like the people that own that, right? Those gas basically. I apologize, I'm like hungover, but that control that aspect, right? They get over on everybody with like, oh yeah, you could, and then you can mine, which really costs no gas, but that takes like literally years for you to get one.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the other thing that they're going to start doing too. They're going to start. If the SEC wins their case, right, what they're going to do is allow people to mine, right, for free. But if you actually want like crypto of any kind, you really got to come off some bread. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, you don't really have to come off no bread to like have like one or two like Matics or like Ethereum. It's not that much. You know what I'm saying? But fucking they're definitely looking to manipulate the system with it, and it's all right, bro. Like with everything, like we know, like if there's a will, there's a way. So somebody's going to like find a way to manipulate it. So you know what I mean, and that's what everybody's afraid of too. Hacking, right? Like we have the worst hacking protection in the country, like in the world.
Yeah.
Right? So they're like, oh, well, how could people not hack into it? Well, people won't hack into your wallet unless you let them. That's literally what it is. Mm-hmm. Very simple concept. Just don't give nobody your password. Protect it. You know what I mean? Write it down. I tell people, write your passwords down, actually, specifically for your wallet. Because if you have that in your phone, you lose your phone, oh, somebody can see it now. Somebody has it now, right? You know, so there's ways of just being smart.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I definitely understand that. And with all of that, and then starting to develop a brand around it, do you find with everything that you do, is it difficult to differentiate the different parts of it, or are you finding ways to like tie it together? And if so, like what pieces of advice would you have for other people whose brands may cover different topics but want to tie them together in one narrative?
So to answer your first question, it's very stressful juggling different things. Because sometimes, like, for example, like, everything doesn't really tie into each other, honestly, but I kind of like force it with just being consistent. Like, and people say this all the time, and I don't mean to be cliche, but like consistency is literally key. Like, you always got to be consistent, bro, in anything. Like everything, life is consistency, right? But as far when it comes to how I'm able to like put everything together, I think is less about like me doing it and people just associating it with me based off of aesthetic and stuff like that, right? And I mean, you can see my gram is like artwork and stuff. It's mainly just stories. It's just me chilling or whatever it is, right? I don't really post on social media. I kind of use Facebook more as like a speaking platform. I think you've noticed that recently. And me and Facebook got beef. So
I mean, anybody that really been on Facebook trying to communicate got beef with Facebook.
Yeah.
Boy,
I don't know what they're doing
for
out
everything. But it's their platform. I mean, that's the game we play.
I also want to bring up Meta, right? And
the company itself, or
well, Meta 100%, because Meta is part of the reason why everybody's afraid of Web3. They put out product with misinformation, and people are so confused. A lot of people think that Web3 is just VR video games. A lot of people don't understand that VR is just a cash-in for a lot of these companies who are already doing AR, for example.
Yeah, augmented reality is like...
It's something else.
Yeah.
Right? One of the gentlemen that I work with, he owns a AR company that's going to launch very soon, and he does digital twinning, right? It's called Manhattan. Basically, he has literal digital twins of every aspect of New York City. Meaning, like, the Empire State Building as you see it. It's literally the Empire
Basically,
State.
he, like, takes real-world mapping, basically, and then imprints it.
Yeah.
Like one-for-one copy.
Yeah. So it's not like when you go into a game and then they just give you, like, shapes for buildings. It's not that. It's literally that. Like, so seamlessly, right? We're here. Let's say if we put like a headset on or something like that, we're literally still sitting here.
Yeah.
That's wild stuff, right? Then you have like programs that, like, you know, like if you want to get into that, like there's like what's that? Promethean AI is pretty cool. There's a lot, but I'm not really gonna go too far into that. Like, just look it up. It's Google, you know, Google's like literally a tool that people just need to familiarize with, other than like stupid shit. So,
asking the right questions.
You know what I mean? Just ask it the right questions, and they will give you the answers for it. Like, I forgot your question. The last part of your question.
How the second part was tying, like, with all of the different parts.
Oh, right.
What advice do you have for somebody trying to, like, tie it all together?
Take your time. Like, don't just do everything at one time. Pick one thing, do it to the extent that you want to do it. I wouldn't even say like master it. Do it to the extent that you know it, that you know that you can speak on it, right? And what I mean by knowing something is knowing that you can learn more about it. Because people like to say they know things, and yeah, people know things, and people know a lot of things, but I also know that people don't know anything. So like, one of my key like traits is like being capable of learning, and being okay with that. Right. So that's how I'm able to like be in certain doors, and look how I look. Right. A lot of people be looking at me in the Zoom calls. Right. They be like, "Yo, what is this tatted person doing here?" Right. And then you know, I speak and stuff, and they're like, "Oh nah, we need this person in here. He's actually a reason why we're in here." So, and I like that. I like that aspect, right? I like that element of surprise. So as a person who's looking to like establish their brand, just take your time. Don't rush it. You know what I'm saying? I know the whole thing that, oh, we don't have enough time, this, that, your time is literally how you choose to use it. Yeah. Most valuable thing we have. You know what I mean? And don't ever spread yourself too thin on projects. You know, I like juggle so many projects, and you know, my wife, she's like, yo, you have so much, stop taking so much projects, and she's right. So I slowed down on taking more projects, and just been handling the ones that I have. I've cut off some projects too, because you know, people just don't hold up their end sometimes, and you know, that's just business. Like, you don't have to like.
That's a risk you take.
Yeah, that's a risk. That's just a risk you take. You know, it's business. and you should never take it personal. If you take it personal, that means you're not built for business, by the way. So like, you should not ever get emotional when it comes to business.
Yep.
You get emotional, you're not cut for it. Just become an NPC. But yeah, I think that's probably like more value, right? Like, just take your time and value your time.
Okay.
Right? And just know what you want. Like, branding is not colors. Branding is not a cool name. Branding is none of that. That all comes to you. Branding is like about the rapport you have with people, honestly. How you communicate with people. How you even communicate what you're looking to do. You know what I mean? People need to also look into pitch decks. How are you ever going to get anything done if you don't have a pitch? A lot of people talk at me with stuff. Like, it's a little annoying, you know? Like, and I didn't really understand that aspect when I was a lot younger. But I also just didn't really ask people for stuff, right?
Okay, yeah.
But at the same time, though, like, you know, I'm not old by any means, but like, now that, you know, people want to like kind of get into your circles, right? They start talking at you as opposed to just like speaking with you on things, right?
Conversing.
Yeah, and a lot of people miss out on that. If, you know, just having a conversation with somebody will go a long way, because not only will you learn things, you guys might actually like end up being like, bet, let's do this. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times that I would just be speaking to somebody randomly, and they'd be like, yeah, you know what, let's talk about this and let's do this. You know, so just know your worth. That's the thing. Just know your value and the value of your time in your space. A lot of people don't know that shit.
So that's true. A lot of people, it takes a lot to figure that out, because it takes a lot of trial and error, and
I agree.
confirmation. And confirmation comes to putting it through the fire, and really learning. Because experience is the real teacher that builds that type of value, and knowing your value is being able to like see it field tested over and over and over again. So in all that you do, and on the entire brand that you have, what would you say is your favorite part at least right now?
Reactions.
Reactions.
Yes. I do everything for a reaction.
Expand on that.
So if you don't get reactions, you're not doing anything right. Meaning, like, and I learned this from the psychology of Vince McMahon, right? WWE, right? There's no such thing as a bad reaction, right? There's harmful reactions, but a reaction tells you that you did something that made that person want to react to you, right? So, and that's the whole point of social media, right? I'm a thumbs up, I'm a heart, I'm gonna do this, right? That's the whole point of emojis.
Comments, I'm gonna share, I'm gonna like, yeah.
Right? It's all for the reaction, right? I like real life reactions, to be honest. I don't really care if people like give me reactions on the screen or whatever, right? But I like to advocate like questions and stuff on Facebook, and I like to see those reactions turn into interaction and stuff, right? If you're not getting somebody looking at you, speaking to you, sneaking next to you, doing something in reaction to you being around, then you're probably not the person you think you are, right? And that could be love, hate, whatever it is, right? Like, let's look at the things we look at. Let's look at our entertainment, our celebrities. They live off of reactions.
Yeah.
Off of what people say about them, what people think about them, what, like, all that type of stuff. So, you know what I mean? Like, me and my wife get reactions every day when we just walk in, go into the store. You know what I mean? People always got something to say about something. And it's like, okay, you know, that's a reaction, right? But, you know, again, there can be harmful reactions, so you have to be careful with that, right? Not every reaction is going to be a good one, and you have to be able to also face those reactions as well. I also want to bring into, like, it's okay if people don't like your stuff. Don't feel bad if people don't like your stuff, don't feel like you're doing something wrong. If people don't like yourself, you're gonna need those feedbacks and reactions as well. You need to, gotta understand a lot of things are subjective in entertainment. Mm-hmm. It's not real. Entertainment is not real. Okay, it's literally something that we do for enjoyment. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, and however it may be. Okay, so I really enjoy the reactions of everything I do, whether it's artwork, whether it's dressing, whether it's just standing around, whether it's how I smoke, how I roll, and stuff like that. I didn't forget you saying that, what is her name?
Emily?
Yeah, that she can outsmoke me.
Emily said that.
She's capping, bro.
Listen.
She's capping, bro.
Emily, if you see this, Keith got some business to handle, because she still says that you tapped out that night. So
that's crazy. I definitely didn't.
She still to this day says that you tapped out that night.
Nah.
Her first night here in New York, and so she thinks she could outsmoke you.
Nah.
But you're going to Seattle, so you're gonna have to deal with that when you just pull up a whole person.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't recall ever tapping out. I smoke a lot, bro. Like, I do. Like, it's kind of crazy.
I mean, I feel you. I mean, I'm to be fair, we are talking about somebody who's an award-nominated, award-winning bartender who not only like lives in the cannabis space, the web, the dabs, the wax, everything that she handles. So it's not like we just for the audience to know.
Oh yeah. No.
We're not talking about.
This person is not a lightweight.
Yeah, this is we as cannabis connoisseurs are talking about people.
that
are at the.
But that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying too. Like here, right? A lot of people in New York act like they smoke. They don't. Like,
I mean, that's why I personally like just take away from the topic. That's why I don't even entertain people's conversations no more. Like, oh, I can smoke this, or I got that. I'd be like, okay. Again, I'm the director of tourism and travel for the Cannabis Awards. Like, we literally give people awards for the best weed. So, if you really got the best weed, come put it to the test.
You know what I'm saying? Put it to the test. Oh, you can smoke? All right, bet. What are you smoking, though?
Yeah, put it to the test.
Put it to the test. Put it to the test. Like, you got some shatter? I don't know. You got some shatter? You do dabs? No, you okay. Yeah. I've seen people who say they can smoke whatever and they take a dab.
But dab is different. That's why, that's why,
but
all of that shatter and that wax, that's a different.
It is different stuff. What's that, moon rock and all that?
Yeah, all of that. I mean, it's great concentrate, but
it is.
Yeah,
you gotta be able to deal with that.
Yeah, I personally only that's like the equivalent of taking shots on a special day for me, because boy.
Yeah, I mean, people who do it every day,
be ready. But I'm like,
that'll leave you fried.
I got things to do. I like being productive. I'm more of a sativa person myself.
Oh, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, just because you get to smoke and go.
Smoke and go, focus. Yeah. I have a funny story about my first time taking a dab. Right, so it's me and my boy and a couple of his people, I guess. We was in a garage or whatever, and we did some dabs in a rig and stuff, right? The rig was crazy because they made it themselves. Yeah, that joint was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm like, me being from New York and be like, nah, I smoke, right? And they was like, nah, it's a little different, bro. It's gonna hit different. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So I took a big pull, and I didn't feel it at first.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it at first, right? And I'm like, oh, that shit is whack. Bro, tell me how. It was like the next moment I was just laying on the floor in the living room.
Yeah.
And we was all just chilling. I was like, yo, how did I get here?
Yeah, I remember my first dab. I took it like a bong hit, and literally we smoked blunts before that. Mm-hmm. And so, and then I just was like, oh, my eyes went from, I was like, yo, me and this couch. just became one.
We
for
just
the next
became
hour.
fusion high.
So yeah, those dabs. Oh, and just for those that don't know, the Cannabis Awards in Nevada is 7/10, which is Dab Day. So if you guys want to pop out, I handle all the travel accommodations. If you got brands that want to be a part of that, then hit me up. We got sponsorship packages for the pre-party and for the award show.
7/10. That's
7/10. Yep. So if you like cannabis and you want to be in the business of cannabis, hit me up. But
definitely hit Jay up.
But okay, so one thing I want to ask then, with all of what you've got going on, what you say is next for your brand?
Wrestling.
Wrestling.
Yeah. Me and the wife are about to become the best tag team ever.
The best tag team ever?
Best tag team ever. We're not going to be a mixed tag. She's going to be fighting dudes, too.
She's going to be fighting dudes, too.
She's about to beat some people's ass. I'm letting you know.
Expand on that. Let people know what you getting into.
All right. So, I'm a big advocate of wrestling. Like, I mean, a lot of people in my space know this. I post about wrestling. It's like, it's a little weird because, like, I know dates that predate me, like matches, people, stuff like that, right? So, love wrestling. And it's something that I've always actually wanted to do, but didn't really put myself to have the chance to be in that space as a performer or even like a creator. So it's just something that I feel like with everything else that I've done for myself, right? And enough people know me enough to be like, oh, that's so-and-so. Oh, he's doing that. You know what I mean? Also, too, I just like the psychology of wrestling, bro. Like the whole good guy, bad guy thing with like also the anti-hero. I also like, it reminds me of comic books. It reminds me of like anime. It reminds me of video games. Because, these are real people playing characters. I just want to emphasize that. A lot of people still believe in kayfabe. It's not a thing thanks to the internet. So, like, not everybody can be Undertaker.
Yeah.
Not everybody can, that man being able to, like, hold a character for as long as he did, and people really think, believe, like, in that character is
Undertaker's one of my favorite wrestlers. Oh, man.
100%. Or like a person like Chris Jericho, who still wrestles, and he's reinvented himself more than anybody on the face of this planet, and he's held literally every title you can think of. People like that. Like, I look at performers like that, Triple H, Stone, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and how they were able to captivate large audience. Like, these are not small stages that they're on. They're performing in stadiums and shit. So, like, that's wild to me, right? I think that's a peak level of, like, actual performance outside of maybe Broadway. I don't particularly, like, want to do it for the acting aspect. Like, I wouldn't want to then become an actor after that. Like, I don't see myself accepting any of that. You know what I mean? Because I enjoy wrestling. I'm also very throwback in how I like my wrestlers, right? Like, there's a current wrestler, I believe his name is Gunter. He actually reminds me a lot of, like, the old 60 wrestlers. Has a cool style like a Bruno Sammartino or something like that. I definitely think he's, like, the best right now, like, just all around. He makes other people look good, like, that's another art of that, right? You have to make your opponent look good as well. The art of selling is not something that's, like, done correctly anymore. So for me, what I feel like I'm going to bring to the art form, and what my wife's going to bring to the art form, is literally the art of psychology again, storytelling in the ring, and selling is like I was speaking to you earlier. Like, it's really not about wins and losses. It's about how people felt after your performance. Do they want to see you again? Because you also got to think of it this way. It's also an agency. You're not guaranteed to be on TV. You can be in, and catering, like literally your whole career. They'll pay you to just be there.
Yeah.
But if you're not selling or nothing like that, or if you
aren't attracting the right attention,
they're just going to just leave you there until they decide to let you go. You know, so I also very big in the indie scene. Like I love GCW, even though they're like maniacs. With like freaking like Nick Gage and like piece of cutters and shit. Like that's crazy to me. Like that's barbaric, right? Yeah. So you know, there's different levels to wrestling. You have AEW, who like is more like stunt fest. You have WWE, that's more like, you know, performance, like, you know, like Broadway-esque, like theater performance, storytelling. And you have New Japan that has like all of that, right? They're a little bit more tough. They actually make contact for the most part. And then you have your, you know, like your AAAs, which is more lucha and stuff like that. So, you know, I look at certain prospects. I think there's like a prospect right now that everybody likes, Ace Austin, but I think he's trash. He just has a cool move, bro. That's all it is. But, you know, it is what it is. My favorite wrestler, like I said, right now is Gunter. I'm a Roman Reigns guy. A lot of people don't like that, but I just like Roman because, like, where he is, he's the epitome of somebody who was getting negative reactions his whole career. And he didn't care. And then now he's literally like the guy. Yeah. Right? And everybody cheers him now. Right? So it's kind of like I see how that works and how WWE brands their like guys and their girls. Right? So and even now, like wrestling being like less about the men, I think is a big deal too. Yeah. A lot of the women have better matches. Yeah. Better performances. So I think that's a big deal. So, you know, wrestling is the next part of the brand. Next time anyone sees me, I'm going to be a wrestler. So, and you know, whether that's going through the indie circuit for a while, I don't mind doing that because going back to pre this, I was saying that, you know, it would be cool to just kind of like show up, have a cool like feud for like maybe like a month or so, go to the next spot, and if it's that captivating, and being allowed to like be the face of these things for like however long, right? I can do some really creative stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm overly creative. To segue away from wrestling, though, this is something that I didn't mention to you. So, me and my brother are actually creating a video game. Okay. It's going to be the first ever open world AI. So the NPCs are AI, but they're actually going to do things. Yeah, they're going to learn from each other and stuff like that.
And so, like, each NPC has its, like, own autonomous...
thing
like,
that they do.
Interaction and reaction to things.
Yeah.
Which means, like, so much implications, because then,
So much shit can be happening. And
it's like, the game is basically, like, reactionary...
to everything.
Every moment.
Yeah, to everything.
So, like, you can walk into one town one day, and then it'll be a whole different setup the next day because of all of the interactions that...
Yeah. And that's sandbox, right? Like that's how the sandbox is. And you know, I've been very into those type of games, like your Weird West and stuff like that, because they have memory, right? NPCs with memory is insane. Yeah. Like you kill somebody in a different town, you go to another town. Oh, you killed my brother. Yeah, like, that's weird. Yeah, that's actually weird. But it's like amazing, right? So you know, we literally have like over 1,000 characters, like over 1,000 planets and shit, and like different realms and all. It's a lot of stuff, but that's actually a big project that's ongoing. You know, I have some connections, some interest like from Xbox and stuff. I'm not really big on exclusivity. I think the gaming industry is like crazy on that.
Yeah.
In dividing, you know, like gamers, like we just play games, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's not that serious. If you're arguing about games, you must
taking it too seriously.
Taking it too serious, and you got to really rethink what your happiness is, bro, because it's for entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, like But yeah, that's I think that's a cool point too. Like I also do games and shit. Like I'm also a pro Tekken player. So
okay, that's what's up. Man of many faces.
Bro, I do too much shit, bro. That's why I smoke weed, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
I mean, cannabis helps it all together. So
I smoke the cannabis so that way my brain doesn't explode.
Yeah, I feel that. I definitely feel that. But yeah, man, thank you for coming.
Yo, bro,
it's been a pleasure to have you.
Definitely, bro.
Make sure y'all follow my guy, gold.kief, K-E-I-F. K-I-E-F.
Yes.
My bad.
Oh, you're straight.
Make sure y'all check him out. Look out for him when he touches down in Seattle.
Yes.
Because it's going to be a beautiful thing as we continue to watch you evolve.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna try to come out to 7. You said 7:10. 7:10. Yeah, I'm gonna try to come out to that.
Las Vegas area
it's
15.
Close.
Yep. Yeah.
It's actually closer.
You way closer.
Yeah.
Over there, area 15.
Nice.
4 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Hard.
Giving out awards, and there's gonna be performances by Mike Jones and Lil Xan and
nice.
Devin the Dude and a bunch of other people. I don't handle talent, but you should definitely pitch yourself for the next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing that. Then we got August 26th is Oklahoma. Yep. So if you want to get involved in those, there's that.
That's wild.
And when you're ready to catch a flight, let me know.
Oh, facts, bro. I already signed up for that. I gotta choose what I'm gonna use.
Yeah. My guy got his vacation package.
The resort or whatever.
Yeah, the resort. 8 days, 7 nights, baby.
Yeah. That's fine.
So yeah, go enjoy yourself. Make sure y'all tune in every Monday, 7 to 8. Follow me at VE_JANO. I'm the only Vijano in the world. If you can't find me, you ain't looking hard enough. And as we say every single Monday, if you don't, you either win with us or you watch us win, baby.
Swear.
So we here, we live. Thank you for popping out. Love y'all.
Yeah.